Hi guys, welcome back to Wild Vlogs, where we'll talk about all things wildlife and all things filmmaking. And in today's vlog, we're going to talk about sequences you filmed that maybe you've brought back home and you've reviewed, and really you think you can take nothing from them. It happens all the time to me. Obviously, sometimes you can look at your monitor in the field and think you've got a gem, only then to bring it back home and to be wholly disappointed. Before we attack a particular sequence that I have filmed, and I've got very much one in mind that's coming up, let's just address, still using the word sequence, let's just address the sequence of events that when us as wildlife cameramen have a subject arrive in front of us, because we live in a world where nothing is composed, like say an interview for a documentary or maybe a marketing advertisement, where everything is contrived and composed and set and can be rehearsed and redone countless times, several takes. We obviously are not in a position for that to happen. When our subject arrives, it's key that we react to it immediately, and as naturalists, and I still do this, I will look at the subject and sometimes I'll freeze. I'll be so enamoured, I'll manage to press record, but I'll be so enamoured about what's happening in front of me that I tend to forget I need to be thinking about a variety of shots. Take for example this roe deer in Scotland. My initial shot was of a medium shot within its habitat, but then I realised within probably about 6 or 7 seconds that was enough of that and I needed to zoom in. Obviously I applied both of those times the 1/3, 2/3 rule, allowing the animal, the subject, to stare into space, to be on the opposite side of space. It gives it breathing room. But now at least I had those 2 shots and I could create an edit from that. Should you be lucky enough for this particular subject to be with you longer, then maybe you could be a bit more dynamic about the types of shots you do and aim for a 3rd and 4th variety of shot. Sometimes the 4th one can be a little bit tricky though, especially if you're not planning to move yourself for fear of frightening your subject. But that's another topic for another vlog. Just bearing those 2 points in mind, let's now go to this sequence that I alluded to. A sequence that at any other time probably I would have got home, looked at and scrapped. Although I would always suggest, and here's the first tip, and I'm sure you know this already, don't ever scrap. Have them somewhere on a hard drive, because you can come back months, even years later, and make use of them. So this clip is a great egret that I filmed at Clearwater Beach in Florida. And this was a few years ago. And I can remember just struggling for the entirety of this sequence. It's a great egret. It's got I believe a yellowfin tuna that it's trying to swallow, and it's being constantly harassed by corvids. So the first kind of semi-decent small clip I had there was it running down this galvanised roof, fish in beak, and then I have to kind of reset the camera. I know the egret's gone into a kind of semi-hiding position behind the edge of that roof, and then we get this nice little shot of the head appearing, wings up, bit of flapping from the tuna, and then a disappearing shot again. I wasn't sure whether that would be the end of the egret, but no, there was life in the bird yet because of this constant harassment by these corvids and this thing's desperation to try and get this nutrition on board. So I continue fiddling with the tripod and wondering what this egret's next move is, and it does resurrect itself. So I'm trying to assess the next shot, and sure enough it comes up to the edge of the galvanised roof again, still facing to the left, so I'm keeping the bird to the right just in case it comes down, and then suddenly the bird turns, so I quickly put the bird to the left facing right. That's the new direction of travel, should there be any travel. And sure enough we do get a small movement now, a little bit of a slip on on that shiny roof, and up we go. Not much. And then I think I possibly need to crop in with the zoom and get a closer shot. And just as the camera settles, I get this turning shot. It's the wings up, turning around. Bit of a flap from the fish again, and down we go. And that's pretty much it. So, to get something from that, the first kind of semi-decent bit I get is this walk down the roof with raised wings. So I made the cut at the start of that, and then I'm finding the end of it just as the bird disappears to the lower left. Just about there. So that's my first clip. I'll get rid of the first part. Don't need that at all. We're searching now for the second decent piece of footage, and it's this peekaboo piece over the top, bit of a flap from the fish, and then disappearing again. That'll do for me. Appear over and then dips down. That's my second clip. So I now have two clips. Searching for the third clip. Well, I know there's not much in the middle there, but we do have this short climb up the galvanised roof. So found the start of that. There we go, and up and up and up, and a pause there. So that's the end of that piece. There's my third little clip. Now I know I do have my zoom in and turn, and then the start of a descent again down the roof. So here's the facing right zoom in, and immediately the bird, the egret, starts to turn, wings up, balancing itself, and then down again. So I'll make that the end of my fourth and final clip. So here we are. I know I've got a descent here at the start with wings raised. That was a crucial thing I remember. Every time this bird descended, and I've seen it twice, once close and once far, this egret was raising its wings as a form of balance. I thought, well, even though this was the first shot and pretty much the last shot, I could marry these two together to make it a sequence, to make it look as though it was one continuous shot. So looking for the highest point, the wings are raised on the descent of the long shot, just there. So that's going to be the start of the shot. Little trim, get rid of the excess. Now over to the turn shot, the zoomed in turn shot. Finding the spot at which the wings are raised. Just there. So that will be the end of my turn shot to marry up with the long shot, wings raised. So bringing that long shot then to the back end of that, and let's just see how these two match. Not bad. Quite happy with that. Yes, that works. Completely out of sequence. Completely two different separate occasions, but they marry together as if they were one. Just going to neaten that up. Once again, egret turns, starts thinking about ascent. There we go. Happy. So, working on the other two clips, we have the ascent to the turning point. That's pretty much good as it stands, I believe. Of course, the first clip is just the peekaboo clip, as I'm calling it. So bring that ascent clip in to marry up with the turn, the zoom turn. And I think that join there is reasonable. It's believable. Again, two sequences not related at all in reality, in real time, but they marry together well. Up we go, pause, turn, wings raised, and descent. And so the obvious thing to do is to make the peekaboo shot the last shot. This is where the birds ended up, hiding behind the upper part of the roof, trying to avoid the crows. I'll make that the start. Bit of fish action, bit of corvids diving and down, and that should be the end of it. So I'll just move that entire clip to the rear of the sequence, and hopefully now we have something watchable, for one, as a priority, and believable. Very pleased with that result. Very pleased indeed. So, with the windy audio removed there from Clearwater and audio that I previously recorded at Clearwater dubbed on, here is the final result. Bearing in mind there was no magic going on with that edit, it was just simply cutting and rearranging. But if you can get a cut, a transition with a subject that's being dynamic, that's involved in some kind of action, and you cut in the heart of that and are able to marry those two clips, as happened here with this great egret, it has enormous payback for the audience. It's of enormous audience value. It's so much more a valuable transition than a simple static subject to static subject, whether that be near or far. It adds to the illusion, and I think this is the key thing that we're trying to do with varied shots. It adds to the illusion that there is more than one camera involved here, when of course there's not. I hope you enjoyed that. I thoroughly have. It's great to pass on a bit of what I've learnt to maybe an audience in front of me that knows this already, but to get it off my chest is helpful for me anyway. Looking forward to vlog 14. Hope you're going to come along and join me, but until then, take care and goodbye.